Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. I hope that you're having a great Sunday, and if you're like me, you're just getting ready to relax on the couch and watch some football all day. Before I do that though, I'm going to be testing out a bunch of Flower Beauty products for you guys today. I recently was at Ulta and decided I wanted to do kind of like a one brand on my face, like one brand tutorial type of thing. Not tutorial, just like testing one brand on my face. Anyway, and I decided to try Flower Beauty because the few products that I had tried from Flower Beauty before this video, I have really enjoyed. So, I picked up one of their primers, I picked up their foundation and their concealer. I also picked up their new Blush Balm, liquid blush. And then I picked up another one of the Flower Pots blushes. I had one already. I love the Flower Pots blush formula. I think it's phenomenal. They also recently came out with these new Warrior Glitter Shadows, which I am testing out today. It's on my eyes, obviously. I picked up the Lash Warrior Mascara that I feel like gets some good amount of hype. I have one of their Flower Pots or Peachy Petal Palette lip colors, and then I also have their Shimmer and Shade palette as well as their Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette to test out with you guys today. So if you're interested in seeing what products I used from Flower Beauty to achieve the look that I have on right now, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so starting off today, we are going to go in with the Flower In Your Prime Illuminating Primer. There's also a hydrating as well as a pore minimizing primer, but I've been really into the illuminating primers lately, and I think the reason I'm so into them is because I like to find ones that aren't like super artificial looking. Some illuminating primers can be so artificial looking, so I think I was just super curious to see what sort of finish this one gives. This does retail for $9.99, and you can get it at either Walmart or Ulta or the Flower Beauty website, of course. And this feels pretty thin going on, not heavy, at least to the touch right away. It does appear to be pretty dang illuminating though. I feel like it's going to be pretty artificial looking. I did want to pick up the hydrating one, but I was honestly at Walmart picking them up, and you could tell that there was only 2 hydrating primers left, and you could tell they had both been tampered with, whereas this one you could tell hadn't been. So not too bad. I mean, it does give definitely like a shine. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Becca First Light priming filter that I tried last week, but maybe just like a little bit more glowy. I don't dislike it, and honestly, like primer you end up covering up anyway. I really like to pair illuminating primers with my more mattifying foundations because I definitely prefer a more natural leaning glowy look. So I don't know, looking in the viewfinder, I actually really like the way that this primer looks. So next we're going to jump into the Light Illusion Luminous Makeup Nude Skin Feel All Day Wear Broad Spectrum SPF 18. I believe this retails for, it's either $12.99 or $15.99. I got mine in the shade L1, I think, or something like that. I think I got the lightest shade. I can't seem to find where it states. Yeah, I can't seem to find where it states the actual shade, but that's actually going to bother me. Anyway, my favorite way to apply foundation, as you guys know if you've seen any of my other videos similar to this, I like to go in with a brush first and then finish off with a beauty blender. So that is how we are going to apply today. I like to always see if it smells like sunscreen. I'm not getting any sort of scent from it yet. I hope my color matches okay. I felt like the shade range in this foundation, I felt like there weren't that many shades, maybe like 12. I could be wrong. I'm not sure on the shade range. This is actually applying pretty nicely with a brush alone, not too streaky, especially considering I really need to wash my foundation brush. Today is my brush washing day. Okay, but it does need some more blend. So I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender or my Morphe sponge. I'll call every sponge a beauty blender. And I am going to take just a little bit more on both sides and go ahead and blend it out. Okay, Okay, so this is what it is looking like blended out. I'd be curious to see how this pairs with other primers, just because I believe that this is supposed to be more of like a dewy sort of foundation, a luminous foundation. So mixing it or putting it over an illuminating primer definitely makes it pretty dang glowy, especially like I feel like in my forehead and like right underneath my eyes right now. Now we are going to go in with concealer and stuff, but I just wanted to point that out. I do actually really like the look of the foundation right off of the bat. Again, this is the first impressions. I've not tried this before, so I'll come back in a couple weeks and let you guys know what I think after using it more than once. But it does give a sort of like natural light finish to the skin. I definitely would say the coverage is medium on this, which is not bad. I definitely prefer like light to medium coverage. I don't like a full coverage foundation. This was just 1.5 layers if you consider the fact that I went back in with my sponge. My only complaint is I do feel like I'm looking like a little bit shiny on my forehead, which is rare for me. I feel like I don't typically look shiny because I have like more normal to dry skin. I don't know that I've ever seen a face oil on me in my life other than like actual face oil I put on. But yeah, right off first impressions, it doesn't look too cakey on the skin, and I really like the way that it looks thus far. So next we are going to go in with the Light Illusion Full Coverage Crease Proof Concealer. It honestly bothers me when concealers claim to be crease proof, because honestly if you have creases under your eyes, I mean makeup's gonna settle into that crease. I get there's better concealers than others and like covering that up, especially if you go ahead and set it, but I mean, come on. Crease proof does not truly exist in my opinion. Okay, so it says that the doe foot applicator is actually softly angled for precise application. It has a weightless formula for a second skin feel, and again it claims to be crease proof. So it does absolutely have an angled sort of doe foot, which is interesting. I've never had a concealer with an angled doe foot. So I'm just going to pop this underneath the eyes to start. Ooh, this is very liquidy off of first impression. I went with the lightest shade with this too, which was L1-L2. And on camera, I feel like it looks lighter than it does actually like on my skin. Like it looks almost like just about the same shade as my actual foundation, so I don't know how much it's going to like super lighten underneath the eyes, which is fine. I prefer a lighter under eye, but I mean if we can't get it, we can't get it. Okay, I feel like I don't like the angle because it's catching like underneath where my eyeball is, and I can't get to like, I have to be really careful when I try and get really close to my eye, because yeah, like this is like dragging underneath my eyeball unless I go like this. I don't like that. I don't like the doe foot applicator on this. I am noticing a bit of a burning underneath my eye too, just being honest. Okay, so we're gonna blend this out, and I did not pick up, I believe she has a pressed powder and a translucent or like setting powder, loose setting powder is the word I'm looking for. I didn't pick either of those up just because I already have way too much powder in my collection that I need, and I just don't use powder that much, so I decided to skip over the powders. So we're just gonna not set underneath the eyes. There's definitely a burning sensation I feel with this concealer, which doesn't like scare me too much. I had noticed that with my Tarte Aqua Sealer, and I've never had a reaction underneath my eye, but I mean, it's definitely something to note. Okay, so this is what the concealer looks like blended out. Honestly, it looks pretty much about the same color as the foundation in my opinion. It definitely is full coverage. I have a pretty large freckle right here under my eye, so I always know that if I can't see that it's pretty full coverage. I'm gonna put a little bit on my chin as well as a little bit up my forehead. Yeah, I just feel like this doesn't do a whole lot for like lightening / brightening for me, just because it's not light enough. And again, I went in with the lightest, or I purchased the lightest concealer. I do enjoy how full coverage the concealer is, and it is like super lightweight and liquidy, so it feels super light on the skin. So I do like the actual formula, but it's just, I wish that came in like one shade lighter. Okay, the foundation definitely still feels like a little bit, not tacky, but because it's more of a luminous foundation, it doesn't feel like it's set down yet. I almost do want to go in just with a pressed powder to set it down, but I do want to test out the new Blush Bomb color drops. So I'm going to go in with my blush before my bronzer today. I'm going to use powder bronzer today. I don't have a bronzer by Flower Beauty to test out for you guys, but I'm going to put this on before I set my face with powder so that it stands a chance. I can't seem to get these to open. So these are new, you guys. I got mine in the shade BB2 Pinched, which I want to swatch on my hand. Oh, it looks like it's just a super pretty neutral sort of, just like, I almost wanted to say like just like pinched shade. It's like a peachy pink is kind of what I want to say, but blend it out, like it almost looks like nothing. So I feel like that's amazing because liquid blush definitely scares me. I honestly don't know if I've used a liquid blush before. I lied. I've tried the NARS Orgasm liquid blush, and that was well into like, and that was in like the beginning of my makeup journey, so I definitely didn't know how to apply it, and I ended up returning it because I did not know how to use it. But this says this is a new way to give your cheeks a fresh, healthy glow in an instant. Each drop of this silky and lightweight formula blends seamlessly for a perfect finish every time. Buildable and natural looking are universally flattering shades wear beautifully on all skin tones. To use, dab it on the apples of your cheeks and blend to your desired effect. So I'm actually going to put a little bit on my hand first and then put it on a beauty blender and just blend it out that way, just because it makes me slightly nervous to go right in on the cheek first. So there is a little droplet on my hand, and then, okay, I'm a little nervous about this, especially because I don't have my bronzer on to like base off of where I want this. Maybe I should be going with bronzer first. Okay, really can't see anything yet. I feel like I need to go in with bronzer first. This is like, I need to have like that, almost like, okay, I almost feel like you like legitimately cannot see that. That's two very light layers. I actually am gonna go in with bronzer first, you guys, just so I can have like a baseline, so I can know where exactly I want my blush to hit. Today I'm going to just be going in with my butter bronzer. This is in a project pan, and again, I don't have a bronzer that I want, or that, yeah, I don't have a Flower Beauty bronzer to try. Okay, now that we have a little bit more life on the face, I'm going to try like a cleaner beauty blender. And by cleaner, I mean not really much cleaner, but I feel like it might be easier to apply with an actual beauty blender. So again, just taking some of that onto the end of my beauty blender, and then I guess I can see like, I don't know if it's coming across on the viewfinder, but I can see like a little bit of a difference in the color of my cheeks. Yeah, a little bit. I did go with like the lightest blush color, so what can I really expect from this? I'm just curious how much you can build it up then. I'm going to try and do another layer here. I feel like all of a sudden I'm going to end up with like clown cheeks. I don't know, I feel like on the, like in my viewfinder, I'm not noticing much of a difference. I'll probably go to edit and be like, well, okay, so I'm gonna add some color to the other cheeks. I'd be interested to test these now in a darker color. I'm like kind of disappointed in the pigmentation of this one, but again, I know I went with like the lightest shade, and it honestly is just making my cheeks look like they're pinched, which is the exact shade range, so I don't know if I really am allowed to be disappointed. But, and just so you guys know, I am noticing the concealer sinking in to my crease lines. I know I didn't set it, but I am noticing that, so wanted to shout that out. We're gonna come back and do highlight. I also wanted to chat with you guys just about the Flower Beauty Flower Pots blushes. These are their powder blushes. I have one of these, or had one of these already, in the shade Warm Hibiscus, which is this one right here. And this is one of my all-time favorite blushes. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because of my lights, as always. This is definitely more of a summertime shade. It definitely has a shimmer to it, It's like a nice, beautiful pink with almost like a golden coral sort of shift. Love this blush. I wore this all the time in the spring and summertime. So I already know I like that blush formula. I did decide to pick up another blush in the shade Sweet Pea. I think this one is actually matte. Soft satin finish. So this has a satin finish as well. But this is more of like a mauve toned color, and I thought it'd be really pretty for the fall time. And I already know that the Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush is one of my favorite blush formulas. So I already knew I liked the formula. I'm curious to see what this is gonna swatch like. Oh my goodness. This is like such a beautiful blush shade for the fall and winter time. I am obsessed. Again, I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but oh, that looks so pretty. Super, super excited about this. I also want to pick up the like peachy coral shade. So now we're going to go into eyes, and I do have one of the Flower Beauty Shimmer and Shade eyeshadow palettes. I wasn't going to pick this up because I just didn't feel like I would get a ton of use out of it, but then I swatched it in store because one of my Ultas near me had these out so that you could actually swatch them, and I was blown away by the way that these swatched. I believe these retail for $15 or $16.99. It does come with a brush. Oh, and it actually looks like it might be like a decent brush. It feels super, super cheap, like the actual handle of it, like really cheap. But the actual like bristles feel like this might be a decent blending brush. So I picked my blush. So I picked up the palette in Golden Neutral. Looks like this. And okay, so then let me just show you guys. This is one finger swipe. That, again, my lights. Let me see if I do that, if you can see it better. I don't know. I'm never gonna figure out swatching, but I don't even know if there is matte shadows in here. But I really wanted to pick this up and give this a test. I'm trying to brighten up a little bit. And then I also noticed that they have these new like liquid lid shades similar to the Stila like glitter and glows or shadow and glows or whatever they call them. And oh my gosh, I saw this beautiful green shade that I thought would be so pretty for the fall. And holy crap, it swatches incredibly. There it is right there. Oh my goodness. So this is what I'm gonna go all over my lid with this, and then just pop like one of these shimmers in the crease. I'm gonna test this out more, and I will do a look in my follow-up video with this, maybe using one of these shimmers on the eyes. But I have to use this on my eyes today. These, what are these even called? So these are called the Warrior Glitter Eyeshadows. They retail for $9.99, and I have to use this on my eyes today. I'm blown away by the swatch of this. So I'm really excited to try this out. Again, I'm just gonna pop one of the shades in here on my crease. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below if you have tried any of the eyeshadow palettes by Flower Beauty. They had two other ones. They had like a cool one, and I forget what the other one was. Maybe like a neutral one or a warm one. Both of them, like all three looked really beautiful, but the golds in here just like had me kind of shook. So I'm gonna take the one that kind of looks the least shimmery. This actually might be like more of a, no, it's still like a satin shade. I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm just going to pop this into my crease. I probably should, ooh, I'm going to lay down a little bit of concealer. Alright guys, so I zoomed you in and I added a little bit of brow powder. Well, I filled my brows in with brow powder so I don't look as crazy. Again, I'm just going to go in with this shade right here. This is the 8th shadow in the pan? No, 4th. And I'm just going to take this on a Morphe 441 blending brush and really just like blow the crease out so that I have like a little bit of dimension for this Warrior shade. So I think I had like a little bit or a lot bit of shadow on this blush or blush brush. I think I had some extra shadow left over on this brush before I started blending this shadow in, because this is looking quite a bit darker than I expected it to, but I am okay with that. Okay, so I know it was just one shadow, but that blended really, really easily. And now I'm going to go in with that Liquid Warrior shade, and I'm going to pop that onto the lid. I'm just going to, where is it? There it is. I am just going to use the actual like applicator. I'm not going to go in with a brush or anything. And I'm going to, oh my goodness. I'm going to pop this on, I think I'm going to go in on my entire lid. Trying to be super careful not to like open my eye and let this transfer everywhere. I will go in and blend this out with a brush after so it doesn't look as harsh. It's looking crazy on the camera. I can see it already. What I will say is when you push this in, it's kind of like if you guys have ever used the Essence Metal Shock shadows, it almost feels like you're going to break the applicator off when you push the doe foot back into the tube. Wow, this is an intense liquid shadow. Oh my goodness. I can't even remember what the other shades were, but this is one that I saw and I was like, I have to have this. I'm worried it's going to transfer if I open my eyes up too much. I'm actually going to go in with this second darkest shade and pop this into the outer V and work it a little bit into my crease just to try and like blend this into some sort of eye look. And see if I can get like, because right now it's looking like a pretty dang harsh line of liquid shadow. So we're gonna, there we go. Dang, I feel like with this liquid shadow, once it's set, it is like set. Even if as I'm like dragging over it, I don't notice like glitter seeming to be, like glitter doesn't seem to be falling off of it. Although now that I say that, no, I don't really even see any on my brush. It just kind of like blends in nicely with the rest of the shadow. So I'm going to go back in then with that same Morphe brush and that same like lighter shadow that we began with. And I'm just going to try and like blend this all together. But I mean, I kind of really am digging this look. And it was like, that was really quick to create. Especially for like the fall time, I'm loving this green shade. I'm going to take that darkest or second darkest shade in the palette again and just bring this on my lash line, probably like halfway in. And I don't have like a liner to try from Flower Beauty. I don't know that I've seen any liners from her. Then I'm going to smoke the lash line out even further with that lighter shade that we took into the crease. And blow that out on the lower lash line. Then I'm going to take this third shade in. It's like a really pretty light champagne color, and I'm going to pop that into my inner corner. As I'm like this close to my face, I'm already noticing I'm not living for this foundation right now. I feel like it's already starting to like break up. I feel like I can notice, like I feel like my pores, like I can see on my pores. It's breaking up a bit on my nose, so I'll try it again with like different primers as well as like setting my face. But honestly, unset, like I don't even think I'd feel comfortable leaving the house with this foundation on right now. For mascara, I have the Lash Warrior mascara to try. It's the one that comes like this. It has a spiked Warrior brush. It has 150% fierce, full, blown volume, 100% saw dramatic thickness, and 88% saw extreme length. And I got mine in the shade Fiercest Black. Okay, so this is what the mascara looks like. I love the packaging. I've been living for Hunter Green lately, and this has like a little bit of like green to it. Oh, I thought that smelled really weird at first. Okay, so ooh, this is what the wand looks like. It's kind of looks like the roller lash, like it has that curve to it. But then the actual like bristles on the wand remind me of the Tarteist like Tarte mascara. And I only like to use that mascara for priming the lashes. I usually go on with like a huge concoction of mascaras. But I find that it doesn't give me too much like volume. It just separates and lengthens the lashes. And for me, I never go in with false lashes, so I typically like to have a mascara that's going to give me some volume. And then I do believe this retailed for $9.99, just so you guys know. Okay, I mean, it's giving me more volume than the Tarte one. I actually like this more than the Tarteist one, even though the wands are kind of similar. I need to get like a lash curler, seriously, because I feel like if I had curled my lashes before going in with this mascara, I would like actually be like living for this mascara. But I feel like it's like lengthening and voluming, but I need to be able to like have it curl up, because I feel like it's just like pulling my lashes straight out right now. Not too shabby off of first impressions for this mascara. Again, normally I go on with multiple mascaras and layers, so I'll let you guys know in my follow-up how it layers with other mascaras and how it looks with an actual like lash curler. So then today we're going to finish off the look with some highlight. I do have this highlighting Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette, which I feel like this gets a lot of hype and a lot of good reviews, which I feel like all the reviews I've heard on this have been good reviews. You get this dinky little brush in it that I would definitely have skipped, because then you could have a nice, more compact highlighting palette. Today, let's see, I know I'm, ooh, that is powdery. Okay, so here's the gold color. Where am I gonna swatch these for you guys? Oh my goodness, that's pigmented. There, oh my goodness, there's the gold swatched. Okay, these are super powdery. And I'm putting there's the pink, super pretty. And then this is what I think I'm gonna go for. This is more of like a, like white. There's, if you can see, like the whitish one. Ooh, I don't know which one I want to go with. Definitely not, I feel like this is gonna be way too dark for me right now. And I feel like the pink might be a little too dark. I'm gonna go in with the light one. I'm gonna go in with the lightest one. I'm gonna go in with my favorite highlighting brush, which is the ABH A23 brush. Okay, so again, these are pretty powdery. And I don't want to like go in with like a super intense, yeah, I don't like this foundation. I don't want to go in like super intense right away if I don't know what it's going to be looking like. So that's me, like I brushed most of the powder off. Let's see. Now let's try that. Okay, there we go. There's some highlight. Wow. That is intense. I like that this one feels like it's not sitting on the skin. This actually feels like it's like sunken in. It almost gives like a lit from within, or like more of like a wet highlight appearance. And then for lips today, I honestly don't think that this is gonna match this lip look, but this is one of the, what do they call this? But this is one of her Petal Pout lip colors in the shade Peachy Nude. And I think it's gonna be a little bit too like peachy pink right now. There it is swatched. I also have one of her liquid lipsticks, which I do really like. It's definitely more of a moussey consistency, and it can like get crumbly throughout the day, but it does last a really nice amount of time, and I do enjoy that liquid lipstick formula. I think it's nice. I think it's worth, I think it's like $12.99 for the liquid lipsticks, and these are either $8.99 or $9.99, and I haven't tried these before. Ooh, that's like super creamy. But these get really good reviews. Okay, yeah, definitely would not go with this color with this eye look, but this was the only one that I had, so I kind of just had to roll with it. That lipstick is super, super, super creamy. So far I actually really enjoyed the lipstick formula. I think it's really nice. If you don't like matte formulas or really drying formulas, this seems to be super moisturizing, so I think this might be a great option for you. After that, that is all of the, I don't have a setting spray to use, so after that, that is all of the products that I have from Flower Beauty to test out with you guys today. But let's really quick run through all of the products and how I'm kind of feeling first impression wise. So first we have the primer, and I don't think that I like this primer paired with this foundation. I don't necessarily know if I'm feeling like it's more the foundation rather than the primer. It's trying to be of like the Becca filter primers. So I'm excited to use this some more. It wasn't too artificial looking, but it definitely gave like a nice glow. So I'm excited to try this with some matte foundations and see how it pairs with that. Again, I think this paired with like a luminous foundation might be just a little bit too glowy, but this is one that I actually am excited to get some more use out of. Then we have the Flower Light Fusion Luminous Makeup Nude Skin Feel Foundation. And for me, I feel like this is one, if you have oily skin, I would probably definitely skip this. This is giving me like some Josie Maran Vibrancy foundation vibes, which that foundation just straight up did not work for me. It slipped and slid all over my face, and I don't even have dry skin. I definitely feel like I need to try this set with a powder, but I'm feeling like this is just really sinking in and settling into like my pores. Like I feel like it's getting cakey around my chin. I'm noticing it in my forehead lines. My nose doesn't look that bad, but I've noticed some already worn away on my nose. So I definitely feel like this is a foundation that needs to be set. As far as the concealer is concerned, so far so good with the concealer, other than the fact that I do notice it settling into my creases, so it's not crease proof. But again, normally I do set underneath my eyes, so I will try this set. I probably should have tried it set today, but oh well. This definitely is really full coverage, but it does feel really lightweight and really hydrating. So if you are someone who needs, if you have dry under eyes and you need a hydrating concealer for underneath your eyes, this might be one to check out. Again, more to come, you guys, on how this looks set and stuff, but so far I do like the concealer. Then we had the Flower Blush, then we had the Blush Bomb Color Drops. These, I am noticing some color to my cheeks. I'm gonna have to practice a little bit more with these for like actual like precise application. Again, I went with one of the lightest shades and I don't feel like I'm noticing the most color payoff, but that's probably because I went with the shade Pinched. So I don't know how I feel necessarily about these. I'm gonna have to test these some more to really grasp an opinion, but I don't think it's horrible. I also just don't think liquid blush is like my total jam, so there's that. Then we went in with the Shimmer and Shade palette. Again, I only used 2 shades from this, but they blended out really easily. Actually, I used 3 if you consider my inner corner highlight. These swatch beautifully, so if you are looking for like some good shimmers, this might be a palette for you to check out. Again, I'm gonna have to test and see how these shades really perform on the eyes, but I really enjoyed the couple shades that I used from this palette, and I'm really excited to get some more use out of this. Then we have the Warrior Glitter Shadow, which I am absolutely loving, you guys. I feel like once this dries down and sets, it definitely looks more like an actual shadow rather than it just being like a glitter, like a liquid glitter that's laying over your eyes. I feel like it blends in really nicely, and I love this shade for the fall time. So far I am a huge fan of this, and I definitely want to pick up some more of these. Then we had the Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette, you guys. These swatch so intensely. I feel like it doesn't come off like quite as intensely on the cheeks as I expected from the swatches, but it's still a beaming highlight, and it honestly just gives that like beautiful sort of like wet look to the skin. So I really enjoyed this off of first impressions. And then finally we have the Petal Pout lip color, and again, off first impressions, this is super hydrating. I'll have to see how this wears throughout the day, whether or not I get transfer on my teeth or like up my face. But if you like a more moisturizing lip product or lipstick, I think this is going to be one that you could really like, because this is just like so creamy. I really like the lipstick so far. Sometimes I get like some weird wear away right away in the center of my lips too, like when I rub them together, and I'm not noticing that with this. So that is a really good sign. So far it's so good with the lipstick as well. Oh yes, and then I also had the Lash Warrior mascara. Again, I want to try this with like an eyelash curler. This isn't giving me as much volume as I would want from a mascara, but I feel like it's giving a really great base and would be a really good one to pair with some of my other more volumizing mascaras. So I'm excited to give this mascara some more use. I actually think this could become a new favorite for like my first coat mascara, like my priming mascara. Again, you guys, I'm really weird with my mascara concoctions. I usually go in with like 3 or 4 mascaras. It's weird, but that's just me. After the mascara though, you guys, that is going to conclude all of the Flower Beauty products I had to test out with you guys today. Leave me a comment below letting me know what your favorite product is from Flower Beauty. Was it something that I mentioned today or something that I did not test out in today's video? Other than that, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!